Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And it is Rams Week here on Mick Shots inside the SWBC podcast studio. Bill Jones, Everson Walls, Savannah Humoller, and the star of the show, Mickey Spagnola.
Yes.
And out on the practice field, I see football players, Everson and Savannah, without pads on today.
But they have helmets.
They do have helmets on.
I saw that.
So that is a form of a pad, yes.
It consists of pads.
Which is more than they've done since the Saturday before the Chargers game.
So basically, when you have a bye week, now you have to have a ramp-up period to get ready to practice, right?
No, there's no ramp-up practice. They had yesterday off.
I know. Well, so now we're ramping up today. We got to ramp up today.
This is our Wednesday. Well, sorry, this is our Monday. Is that Monday?
No, this is the normal Wednesday
normal.
practice.
It's normal.
Okay.
Thursdays.
Bill's trying to be overly dramatic here.
Thursday's the heavy work day.
Okay, guys, so before we get started on
Yes.
everything today,
Okay.
I come bearing some gifts.
Oh, wow.
So this morning I met Bob Lilly. He was out
Mr. Cowboy.
on the plaza just doing some stuff for an event that they have coming in February. And they handed me these really awesome custom-made cards.
Yeah.
And so we have a Randy White, a Bob Lilly, Roger Staubach, and Joe Green, Mean Green. So I'm going to give you your picks. Which one do we want? You each get one.
No Everson Walls one?
I don't.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, give me the only black guy in there. Give me Mean Joe Green.
Got it. He's all
Thank
yours.
you.
I'll take the Manster.
Who?
The Manster.
That's
Randy White.
Randy White, yes. Yes.
This one.
There you go.
And what's left?
We have Bob Lilly and Roger
Roger.
Staubach.
I'll take
That's
Roger.
nice leftovers.
Got it.
Those
one
are
did you
nice
take?
leftovers.
What you take?
Roger.
Okay.
Of course he took Roger. Those are
So
really
you're
nice
All right, well, I
leftovers.
got Bob.
Cowboy. And see, that's good because you had an interfacing with Bob
There
Lilly.
you go.
Exactly.
Which I did. It's been half a century ago. Everson, you'll appreciate this since you
Okay.
grew up here in Dallas. But my dad and I were there was some event going on at Market Hall, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
Off of 35.
And Bob
Yeah.
Lilly was there. And so he was appearing at something, and my dad and I was 10 years old probably at the time, and we walked by him, and my dad said, let's stop and I wasn't into autographs at all, and I don't think I got his autograph, but we did have an interfacing with Mr. Cowboy Bob Lilly, and so here we are a half century later, and Savannah, one of the greatest Cowboys of all time.
Yes.
And you just stumbled up on
there
him,
you
huh?
go.
Wow.
I
And so
know.
it's fitting that you get his trading card.
Yeah, no,
That
it's
is,
very,
that
very
is.
cool. I guess these are custom made. The artist, he signed these, so thought you guys would enjoy one.
Thank you
That's
very
the
much.
artist-
This is cool.
the artist
give me a
signature?
pound on that.
got
There you
that.
go.
Thank you.
so much.
You're welcome.
She
I'll
thought
take
of
this.
us.
She really did.
You wanna give
when
pub
she
to
saw
the
4 of
artist?
them, I started salivating. Like, okay, I hope she's giving out.
You want to give pub to the artist? Not really a trading card. I said it a trading card, but it's Scott Terrell, the founder and CEO of University All-Stars. Started as an artist and designer, and now disrupts multi-billion-dollar industries. Okay, so there you go.
We
There
have
you
a
have
rebel.
it.
He's a rebel.
That's very
This
good.
is
That was
really
nice.
nice. I know.
Yeah.
This is
That's the
really
first time
nice.
anyone's come bearing gifts.
Well, a lot of people in my family went to UNT, and so
Mean Joe Green.
yeah.
He's our guy.
That's it.
He was not going to be the first one selected unless Everson had a reason for it, being a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah, I know. Hey,
Yeah.
this is truly compromising. It's
that's
truly
right.
compromising. That's how much I love Mean Joe Green. This is truly compromising.
best.
Because I
He's the
hate the
best.
Steelers. Let's just be real about that. I hate the Steelers.
Okay, so here we are back in the flow again. Mickey, you You seem to be very studious over something that you're prepared.
He's missing all your throws, man.
Savannah brings.
He's missing all your passes.
Gifts for us today, and now what's Mickey going to offer today?
Rangers have to play the Diamondbacks.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
Get to play the Diamondbacks.
Get to play them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Weren't we both like reeling at one point? I mean, both teams.
2 years ago,
They were
you
too.
just set me up perfectly. The Arizona Diamondbacks 2 years ago won 52 games and lost 110 games.
Wow.
The Rangers 2 years ago won 62 games and lost 100 games, or they were 60 and 102. So we have two teams that had 100 lost seasons 2 years ago. They were playing for the baseball world championship.
Is that crazy?
Can that happen in the NFL? Let's put it this way, because the Carolina Panthers are playing the Houston Texans this week with Bryce Young versus C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
That, put it in perspective, that would be like the Carolina Panthers and Houston Texans next year playing in the Super Bowl. Is that possible?
I'm sure you could pick a team in the past that had a little bit more promise 2 years prior to them doing well.
Had a down
I don't know
year.
about going to the Super Bowl, but there are many instances of teams that they
the
suck.
roller coaster nature of the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
How about 3 years ago with the Cowboys? 1-15.
Okay, not 3 years ago from now, but 3 years ago from Super
removed
Bowl 27.
from 1-15, and then in the fourth year,
It kind of
fourth
followed.
year going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. If we were to be accurate and go with the 2 years, then they would played against Detroit,
Right, in the playoffs.
and lost to Detroit in the Silver Dome.
Yeah.
Which is still a nice turnaround.
From 1-15.
It's not Super Bowl, but that's a nice turnaround.
Heck, the big turnaround.
2 years ago would have been the game against Atlanta, 1990.
Right.
Yeah, I guess Atlanta, Babe started.
89 1-15
to 7-9.
to 7-9.
7-9.
And had
then
they
the Detroit year
won
was
one
the year
more,
before.
or somebody lost one more, they would have gone to the playoffs.
Yeah.
At 7-9.
Yeah, well, no, that's not a turnaround. No, but I think the true turnaround is them being in the Silver Dome, having the chance to go further. Mm-hmm. That's about as close as you're going to get, based on
And then
your
getting
example.
wiped out
Yeah, well,
by Eric Kramer
So I'm going to be out next week,
the whole week.
like 4 days next week. So just to let you know.
And I'm going to be out one day next week.
uh-oh.
Okay.
Everson.
They look at each other like,
Which one do you want to run the
Hey,
show?
we can come on, man.
Oh, this is gonna
we
be
got
fun.
this, bro. We got this, man. Intimate conversations, man.
They're
we
gleeful
got
over
this.
this.
So you're out
Yeah,
on
we're like,
Monday?
yes.
I'm out on Monday. Yep. World Series games 1 and 2 are Friday and Saturday here, and then at Arizona next Monday, Tuesday. And if the Rangers need a fifth game to beat the Diamondbacks, the game 5 would be on Wednesday.
So
There you go.
what network has the World Series?
Fox.
Fox?
Still Fox.
So you're going to go all the way out there.
Yeah, and nobody's going to see any of our work because the game is on Fox. Right.
And he's got to
Makes no
wait
sense.
20 minutes before he can show any highlights.
Yeah, that's
When
exactly
are you
right.
out?
Monday.
Monday. Okay. So I'll come prepared Monday.
There you go.
Okay, we'll carry it.
Yes.
We'll
I
carry
like
the
it.
show. We're good to go.
I like it.
We might have to
stuff.
We might have to call Nate in Frisco.
No, man, we don't need
Nate
that. But Nate
Frisco.
will probably stop in anyway. Yeah, he'll stop. He likes stopping in when you guys are going.
He sees an open seat in here.
Nate, if you're listening, you're welcome to come.
You are welcome, Nate.
Nate in Frisco says he doesn't want to be on. He just wants to sit and listen. Yeah.
That's good.
So get us up to speed here on Mike McCarthy had a press conference this morning.
I didn't hear it.
Oh, okay. Don't get us up to speed
So-
on
Oh,
that.
I did. I did. I can fill you
See,
in.
this is Savannah's show here.
Well, all I know is that he did say that they will be full for practice today. Everybody will do something on the field. So, although
Okay.
they are not in pads as we talked about, but they're still all out there, full participation.
Well, they didn't really have any injuries coming out of that Chargers game, right? And they had already put, 3 guys on injured reserve, so they don't count. They've got to miss 3 more games.
Marquise
which
Bell was
includes
probably
Leighton Vander Esch.
Marquise Bell was probably fatigued as hell after the game.
I guess Wanye
All the
Thomas.
tackles he made.
Wanye Thomas would have been the only roster
That's
guy.
who a couple people brought up.
And they said he thought he would be able to practice.
Yes,
Well,
full
then-
today.
There you go. No injury excuses going forward.
And because and to bring everybody up to speed on what happened prior to the last game, Vander Esch and C.J. Goodwin were placed on IR. And we talked about the practice squad moves that were made this week.
Hendershot too, right? They put Hendershot.
Yeah, Peyton Hendershot too, and that was the other thing you talked about, Eric. And I'm got to get the pronunciation correct on Saubert.
Salbert?
Salbert.
I don't know.
Or could it be Salbert?
Ah.
Gotta look it up. Yeah. He
See
has
where he's
That
from.
sounds sexier.
from Drake.
Then it's Salbert. Salbert.
Yeah.
If he's from Iowa, it's,
Yeah.
could be Sobert.
You know,
Anyway, he has
the French
some
settled in
playing
that area.
experience in this league, actually. And so it's obvious the issues that the Cowboys have on the offensive line as far as depth and trying to make sure that trying to fortify that position as much as possible through the practice squad and so forth. But it's interesting on the signing of a tight end because and Hendershot's injury, going on injured reserve, because they were counting on having the 4 tight ends
Yes.
throughout the season.
Yes.
And just had McEwen on the practice
Yes.
squad to start the season, and now he's on the 53, obviously. And so, and with Saubert, I'm going to go with Saubert. He started 6 games last year for Denver, played in 17 games, 6 starts, 15 receptions, 148 yards, 24 targets, and a former 5th-round draft pick of the Falcons in 2017. So Dan Quinn would have been familiar with him from Atlanta.
And they would need, since they signed McEwen to the 53, they needed another backup tight end in case one of the top 3
Right,
got
a
hurt.
4th tight end.
They can elevate somebody.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I just think that's interesting, and it's telling, I think, on Hendershot's injury probably too.
Why can't they just go with they don't want to just go with the fullback and have him learn some of the plays?
Well, they
And
did.
there's been part of that going on.
Yeah.
Just the way they're using Hunter Lipke. So he can definitely do some of those things.
Man, I could see him getting out there in space.
Yeah.
Passing the ball with some of those tight
He's
end
an
routes.
athletic guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Mickey.
No, I was just checking to see who they could potentially elevate off the practice squad on game day. And the only 2 that I see they've done so far that are still eligible, because Jefferson used his 3rd, right?
Right.
They elevated Malik Davis last week,
And Tyrus Wheat.
and then he's on.
Oh, that's right. They signed him to the.
He's on the on the 53. So the only other guy there that they
That's right. It was the 2 Maliks who came up from the practice squad, and Tyrus Wheat to
Right.
the 53.
see, and the only other tight end they had on the practice squad was Princeton Fant, and he doesn't really have played any. So yeah,
Right.
So the elevation,
he's a rookie.
if they have to elevate 2 guys, it'll be interesting if they do 2. Because they did Malik Davis because they were worried about. Oh, that was the special teams.
Right.
Because they didn't want Deuce Vaughn wouldn't play coverage special teams. So they did that.
And Deuce was inactive.
Right. And now that Tyrus Wheat's on the 53, I'll be interested to see who they might elevate.
Well, and then what are they doing with Malik Jefferson?
Yeah, would they put him? No, he's out of elevation.
Out of elevation. So
Yeah.
if Malik Jefferson is going to play this week, he's going to have to be signed to the 53.
Or is
And then you have
Rashawn Evans ready to go?
Yeah, Rashawn Evans. Yep.
I got to see this guy.
He's been here a couple weeks now.
And he said he was ready to get off the couch and play the Chargers 3 days
Yeah,
later.
he said that then.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
Most linebackers talk like that.
Well, nobody says they're not ready,
but
right?
most linebackers are ready. I mean, that's just linebackers.
They were born ready.
Yeah, that's what they do.
But the key thing would be, is he capable of helping out on special teams?
Right.
Because that's why Jefferson was continued to be elevated.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots. Going to turn our attention to the Los Angeles Rams and much more when we continue in just a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay, when you hear that the Los Angeles Rams are coming to town to play a noon game on Sunday at AT&T Stadium, what's your first thought?
Sean McVay.
Sean McVay.
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. I'll follow up with Matthew Stafford. Now, Mickey, what's
I
your...
was going to say Matthew
Well, I
Stafford.
beat you to the punch.
DeMarcus Ware going into the Ring of Honor.
That's great, yeah.
When is that?
Sunday.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. Wonder what Jimmy thinks.
They
about
just
that.
officially announced it, although it's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
That's when you said that. I said, "Did we already know he was going in the Ring of Honor?"
Well,
but
officially,
he has not been actually inducted into the Ring of Honor.
Correct. He went into
And they've just worked the schedule out to
Hall
make
of
it work.
Fame.
Huh?
Yeah. So that's what I thought of, even though it didn't have nothing to do with the Rams.
If I would have asked the question yesterday before that news came out,
I would have told you DeMarcus Ware because I already knew it.
oh, okay.
You know,
He had
doesn't
to
get
sit
it.
on the story.
Yeah, he's stubborn. He's stubborn.
Uh-huh.
No, actually, it was planned, and when we did our Cowboys Today, that airs on CBS 11, and we had to do it ahead of time because no one was going to be working Monday. We did that for
All right,
Tuesday.
okay.
So, cat was out of the bag.
So, when you think of the Rams, though, how formidable is the opponent? Let's put it that way.
Well,
Hey, go ahead, Spags.
what I was going to say, if I didn't try to be a smart aleck,
If you didn't resort back to your natural instincts.
I was going to say something about this Nakua guy.
Yep. Puka Nakua leads the league
That's
in
a good one.
receptions.
Yeah, that's the
58
one.
receptions.
Yes.
I didn't even know who he was.
We teased it yesterday.
I
know.
And
So, yeah.
for the first month of the season, everyone was scratching their head. Who is this Puka Nakua?
Was he drafted?
Yes.
First round, right?
No.
No?
We'll find
Well,
out.
he should have been.
Yeah, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Well, not only has he got 58 receptions to lead the league, he's third in yards, 752, and he's got 2 touchdowns right now.
He was a 5th-round pick.
Number 177 overall
Out of
BYU.
And, you look at him in his uniform, he looks a little small, but he is not, is he? I think he's over, he looks like he's about 6 feet tall. I think they talked about him being a bigger wide receiver than he looks like. He and Cooper Kupp, they're kind of deceptive in how strong they are, first of all, how well they run their routes. And when you're on the same page with Matthew Stafford, that's going to be a problem. To me,
which means you better get pressure on Stafford.
And to me, you don't let receivers like he and CeeDee Lamb get off the line of scrimmage without some type of a contact. You got to touch them up in some kind of way, knock them off their timing, because Matthew Stafford is he's eyeballing them as they come off the line of scrimmage. I mean, sometimes he doesn't even look the DB off. We know who he's coming to the moment he sets his eyes on him after the ball is snapped.
Would you like the Pro Day measurables for Puka Nacua?
Yes.
6'1" and 5/8.
Did not think he was that tall.
Okay. 210 pounds. This is at his Pro Day. He ran a 4.57 with a 162 10-yard split, 15 bench reps, 33 vertical, 10-1 broad jump, 4.36 20-yard shuttle, and a 7.32 3-cone drill, which tells you he's a 5th-round draft pick.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not impressive at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It just lets you know how that crap doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't.
Did not work out at the combine, had a toe injury.
And now look at him.
And he started his college career at the University of Washington, transferred to BYU.
By the way, he's also 3rd in yards from scrimmage. He's had 2 carries for 4 yards.
Oh, that put him up there.
I think his yards spoke for themselves, right? Receiving yards.
I love to see guys like that, buck the trends. Of course, same here, but it just lets you know some of that stuff, man, the workouts here and all of that. Put the man on the field. Let's see what he can do.
And at BYU, he transferred to BYU in 2021, became a team captain. In 2 years, he had 91 catches for 1,430 yards and 11 touchdowns. So he was productive at BYU.
Mm-hmm. But they're always looking for something else.
Yeah,
it's always something. Oh,
they're looking at, he ran a 4.6,
yeah.
and
let's find a way to dismiss him.
His vertical is only 33, and
we know so much.
Right.
We have such knowledge. We're judging you, and we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
How many years was he at BYU?
He had 1 year of eligibility left, but he was 2 years at BYU. He came out early.
And see,
of course, everybody had another year because of COVID.
Right.
And so,
well, he came out with
prior.
confidence. He came out with confidence.
And the other thing that benefited him, as it turns out, coming into the league was Cooper Kupp's injury. Mm-hmm. And so the Rams needed to throw the ball to somebody.
And here he is.
And there he was. And he took advantage of that opportunity.
I wonder if Stafford knew what he had right away. Because I know at the beginning of the offseason, they were talking about him having problems relating to the young wide receivers and personnel on the team. And so here, I think Matthew Stafford found a friend without Cooper Kupp being out there.
Not knowing anything specifically about it, but I bet you Puka Nacua showed up regularly and got with Stafford in the offseason, and they got on the same page, and he built confidence in him that way. And it's benefiting them. So when the schedule came out, and Rams is on the schedule, last Sunday in October, I said, well, that's a W.
Yep.
Because you look at the Rams roster and you go, they were so salary cap strapped.
Mm-hmm.
They were all in to win a Super Bowl 2 years ago, and then they basically had to strip it all down.
Exactly.
And So, I mean, it's amazing what they've done to put a competitive team together without any money. But now, week after week, I'm sitting there going, wow, the Rams are a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And
that's got to come from.
They're 3-4 right now, but this is, I use the term formidable opponent. Every opponent in this league, as the Cowboys found out when they went to Arizona. I had the same feelings about Arizona coming into the regular season. We saw what happened in that game.
Right.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah. So
I like what they had to deal with. When you know that you're dealing with limited resources, one thing that McVay wanted to do, of course, you got Matthew Stafford, but also you got to have that offensive line show it up. And they seem to be doing a decent job, compared to everyone else in the league. Matter of fact, it's had that because of the offensive line, Matthew's been able to have a pretty good season.
And by the way, I looked up Cooper Kupp's measurables at the Combine. And very similar to Puka Nacua, he is 6'2", 204. He doesn't strike me as being 6'2" when he's playing.
No.
4'6", 40. Okay, so and Nacua was 4'5'7". And now what does stand out is a 6'7" cone drill, which is that short area quickness right there,
lateral movement,
and a 408 shuttle, and he plays like that on the field. But
that's the kind of routes they're running.
31 vertical, which is doesn't.
The shiftiness is their strength.
That's right.
And their lateral movement is their strength. It's not necessarily
like
speed going down the field.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why do we keep worrying about who runs the fastest 40 then?
That's right.
I don't know why that's even a measurement.
How come they lost to Pittsburgh?
How come they lost to Pittsburgh?
That's a good question.
24-17.
Mm-hmm.
And came from behind. Pittsburgh came from behind.
They did, yeah.
They did.
Now Pittsburgh's 4-2, so
which is amazing,
right?
Which is dumbfounding
with their quarterback situation.
Right. I mean, Mike Tomlin, man, coach of the year. I'm sorry, with that team, no one expected that.
Look at the Rams this season. They started, and it surprised everyone right off the bat. They went to Seattle and won 30-13 first game without Cooper Kupp. And what did Nacua do that game? He was 10 catches, 119 yards,
That's what
15 targets. And then against San Francisco, they lost by a touchdown to San Francisco in Week 2, 30-23. Nacua had 20 targets, 15 receptions, 147 yards against San Francisco.
Was Kupp still missing then?
Kupp was still missing.
Well, you see what they're doing. I mean, the average per catch isn't that much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're using them to just move the, move the chains.
That's a run game.
Yeah, that's a run game.
Uh-huh.
And then they lost to the Eagles, right?
Well, they lost to Cincinnati 19-16. Close game. They won in overtime at Indianapolis 29-23. Lost to the Eagles 23-14. Beat Arizona 26-9, and then lost to Pittsburgh last week. So there you go.
Beware the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Stafford is throwing for over 300 yards in about half of the games. He doesn't have a lot of touchdown passes, though. And Stafford has always been a guy. I mean, he's so competitive. Don't underestimate what he can do as far as his toughness, even running a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what Cowboys have seen.
Mm-hmm.
The infamous quarterback sneak at the end of one game in Detroit a few years back. And local guy coming back, might be his last time to play here. So
he's like a coach on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what you want. He and the coach have a great relationship. They seem to be in simpatico at all times during the game.
Well, the reason why his quarterback rating is so low, 82.3, 22nd in the NFL, he's got 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
That'll kill your quarterback
And
rating.
that's always been his Achilles heel.
he's always been a guy that will take
He'll
a
go
chance.
for it. Yeah,
That's right.
he will. It's not like he didn't see something. It's like, I think I can make it any way I can put it in there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Because his yards passing rank 4th. So completion percentage is only 30%.
Let's just call him a gunslinger. He's a gunslinger.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And he's coming home.
Yeah.
It's anybody that Matthew Stafford reminds you of? coming out of high school, watching him in high school, I'm sitting there going, I feel like I'm watching John Elway.
A minute John Elway.
No, I mean he's got decent size. Stafford.
Yeah, but John's 6'4".
Yeah,
that's what I was saying.
I bet Stafford's close to that.
Yeah,
is he?
I'll look him up.
Maybe it's those Rams uniforms make them look so small.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Cooper Kupp was barely 6 feet. Puka, I barely giving him 6 feet.
You had him at 5'9". Stafford's 6'3".
Is he?
6'3", 220.
See?
How many Pro Bowls has he been to?
2.
One Pro Bowl for Matthew Stafford in his career. So my John Elway comparison didn't really work.
Well, physically it did.
Anyway.
I'm going to have to check with Walls on my height. He might get me to 5'10".
No, he's underestimating. Yeah.
I'm just saying he doesn't estimate very well.
I'll give you 5'5". I'll give you 5'5".
He just doesn't estimate very well.
All right, we continue with more Mick shots in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
The Salvation Army's 27th annual Red Kettle Kickoff returns to AT&T Stadium this Thanksgiving. Get excited to watch the one and only Dolly Parton rock the stage during the halftime when your Dallas Cowboys go head-to-head with the Washington Commanders. Tune in at 3:30 p.m. on CBS.
That was very good.
On
CBS.
So the crawler there on NFL Network said they worked out Mason Crosby too, by the way.
They would be the Rams, bring you up to speed with what we were talking about.
Well, we were just talking about it.
We
You got to stay with us.
Yes, if they didn't stay with us,
Stay
they would
with
know.
Yeah, people, stay with us during the break. Lucas
Crosby.
Havrisik was signed off the Cleveland Browns practice squad to replace Brett Maher, who was released. And the Rams now working out kickers, including Mason Crosby, the former Green Bay Packer.
So they'll have a kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we care, but what the hell happened to Maher?
Back last
That was
year.
my boy, man. That was my boy, man.
It was like Chuck Knobloch disease.
Yeah, he
just can't throw from second
but
base.
Remember
to
that dude,
base.
Minnesota Twins.
I mean, think about it, because it wasn't a flash in the pan with the Cowboys, because the year before he kicked well for the Saints when they had him. That's why Peyton brought him to Denver, and I think he brought him there twice, once for a workout and then once for a competition, and kept him and then let him go. I was told he was still scattering the kicks. So
you could see that he's definitely having a problem.
Yeah, that's
continues to have
too
a
bad.
problem.
Too
Yeah,
bad,
it is
right.
too bad.
Mm-hmm. So it remains to be seen who's going to be kicking for the Rams on Sunday at AT&T Stadium. I had this thought as we were talking about Matthew Stafford. Of course, the trade was made a couple of years ago with the Lions, where Jared Goff goes to Detroit, Matthew Stafford goes to the Rams. So now, as we sit here, it was obvious a year or so ago who won that trade. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that trade now?
Goff has found himself.
That's a trade that benefited
100%.
both teams.
He's great with the Lions.
Yeah, and
he fits there.
Well, the coach made him fit.
Exactly.
The coach challenged him. The coach, we looked at Goff as a certain type of player. We didn't think he had a lot of heart. We didn't think that he could sustain, winning, and be that type of leader. The coach has made him a leader. Coach Campbell has made him he's gotten out of him all that he can get out of him. And it's pretty impressive how a coach can make a difference in a player's career.
But I think Sean McVay did too. I mean, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you already knew Matthew Stafford could do that. He was the
quarterback of the team.
But you already knew Matthew Stafford could do that. Once Matthew went to the Rams, everyone knew that was good for the Rams. Everyone knew that. No one questioned that. We questioned Goff.
You felt good for Stafford that now he's going to a team that has a chance to go all the way, and he followed through on that.
He followed through.
But in the case of Goff, it was interesting because it's almost like your first impression, for me anyway, first impressions stick with you, and he wasn't that good and had a bad season his rookie year.
Even though they went to the Super Bowl.
And then he follows that up going to the Super Bowl.
That was a horrible Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you remember that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That was a winnable Super Bowl for the Rams.
No, that was
and
10
the Patriots
points.
went. Yeah. And your guy Bill Belichick.
Yeah. Well, that's what he does to quarterbacks that aren't ready.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks that aren't ready.
Funny how those losses in playoff games stick with you no matter what you did during the entire season.
Yeah. Yeah. Dak Prescott.
Or in your career.
Yeah. Dak Prescott.
And
Tony Romo.
Yeah.
No one remembers that, Dak put up 30 points, 28 points in a
White.
Playoff loss.
Yeah.
Took him from behind to tie the game, and then the defense allows Aaron Rodgers to drive close enough for
the worst moment.
50.
That's one of the worst moments in this regime's history for me. Oh, God, I knew it was coming too. I think that's why it hurt me so bad. He had done it 3 times that season. Mm-hmm. Okay, we weren't ready for that. No one watched the film. No one saw Monday Night Football against the Packers. Not the Packers, but God, who they play against? He did a Hail Mary.
Arizona.
I think the Lions. I think it was the Lions.
I think he had
Hail Mary. More than one that
season.
season. So no, that was very, very disappointing. But Goff ended up going to Detroit before Coach Campbell, correct?
It was last year. Or
No,
year before last.
He was
So
there,
a couple
right?
of years.
Yeah.
He was.
He was there. Coach Campbell was already there.
because he started developing the team. This is when I think Hard Knocks they did. They did.
You just look
last
like
year, right?
You didn't think Goff could fit in Detroit. When I first heard he went to Detroit, I'm thinking, no, Goff is not a Detroit guy.
Yeah, or he was going to be a bridge to whoever they're going to draft.
That's what I figured. He's not tough enough for Detroit.
It'd be like going to Chicago.
Yeah, and then here you go, Coach Campbell puts together a team, puts together a good coaching staff, and there you go. Goff is different.
Okay, I asked you how many Pro Bowls Matthew Stafford's been to. 1?
Yeah.
How many's Goff been to?
None.
3.
Really?
It also tells you about
remember
Pro
that.
Bowl.
Yeah. One these days, Pro Bowl these days.
Yeah.
One
the
with
Pro
the
Bowl
Rams?
these days,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's right.
1 with the Rams, 2 with Detroit.
2 with the Rams.
2 with the Rams.
2017 and 18, and then last year with Detroit. So there you go.
When you go back to last year, he's one of the more prolific quarterbacks in the league.
Okay, so what's on your mind with the Cowboys and what they, as they get back to work this week, what needs to be the focus getting back to work and facing a stretch of games here through the month of November where they need to really...
Because they're playing at home, right?
Mm-hmm. Five out of the next 7 are at home.
And they've got a 10-game winning streak at home. So that's number 1. Number 2, McCarthy said that on Monday that one of the priorities is cutting down on the penalties.
Man.
Especially the pre-snap.
Jeez.
Especially
what is going on?
Pre-snap on defense, too, by
Yeah.
the way. I mean, that's a killer.
And it seems to be pretty simple.
Like line up right.
Right. It seems like we could remedy that quickly.
Hand,
yeah,
ball.
Right. I mean, helmet, ball.
Yeah.
But really, you can tell that the referees are kind of cracking down on that because everyone's doing it. Everyone's having a problem with it.
Everyone's trying to get an edge.
But the referees are. I think they're
now seeing
their
what we
meeting. Yeah.
They're now seeing what we've been seeing on TV for years. Right. That guy looks like he's lined up offside.
The stuff that Belichick sneaks in, right? Yeah.
Maybe they're offsides because the guys on the offensive line are so far off.
And that's another thing that they need to look at. But they're not putting any emphasis on that.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Guys are moving before the snap. You can see it a lot.
Well, they're trying to promote offense.
Oh, there you go.
And speaking of offense, that's what I'm interested in over this next stretch of games. If this offense is taking the next step, because they have not been consistent. Think about it. In the 2 losses, they've averaged 13 points in each. Gave up 26, or scored 16 against Arizona, and 10 against San Francisco.
Mine's probably adding on to that is the offensive line, since they've only been together, the starters, just a handful of times, keeping that consistency as we approach the halfway mark through the season.
And
you got to make sure they're still consistent.
They're not that impressive right now, as far as the running game is concerned.
Or pass protection. So that kind of, coordinates with what I said about the offense. If your offensive line is not playing well, then you got a problem. And running the ball has been a problem. And protecting the quarterback and throwing the ball has been a problem. Now, I know, as we've talked about before, there's been extenuating circumstances. You get a big lead, you pull back.
Yeah.
It's raining in New York. You played teams that had no chance of catching up with you, but still.
This is what you call the eyeball test.
Right.
Forget those games. It's the ones that we lost where we could see clearly that we are not up to snuff in regards
and
to
think about
progress.
it, and it's not a matter of missing field goals because the guys made every one of them. 16. So
except for one.
That was an extra point.
Okay, sorry.
So he's got, I think he's got over 60 points scored so far. If I have time to.
He has been the unsung star of the first 6 games of the season. Wouldn't you say, Mickey?
Maher, 60 points he's accounted for.
Brandon Aubrey.
Maher?
I mean, sorry.
You got Maher on his mind.
Wait, but by the way, and that's why I screwed up. So they've got
Aubrey's right next to Maher.
Maher had 63 points. Only 17 of 23, though. In
And what's our guy?
16 of 16.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Too short of tying the NFL record.
And we know who has that record because we learned it at the end of the show yesterday.
That's the craziest stat ever.
I still don't remember his name.
Travis Coons.
Yeah.
How could you ever forget?
No, it seems so odd. I mean, I was waiting for like Mike D or some Mike Davis or I don't know.
Bill Jones.
Yeah, some regular name.
Would you like the correct pronunciation of Eric Saubert?
You know it now?
According to the Denver Broncos pronunciation guide for him, Saubert.
Saubert.
Yeah, that sounds smart.
Eric Saubert. Saubert. I bet it's Saubert. I bet it's Saubert, but they've got the emphasis on the Bert.
Wrong syllable. Yeah, that's what the kids say.
That's good.
So wait until Brad Sham is getting to the bottom of it. And so I'm going to wait until I hear the broadcast. If Eric Saubert or Saubert gets into the game and what Brad says,
it'd be nice if he mentioned us as he said his name the first time.
On the depth chart,
Yeah.
They have pronunciation guide.
Yes.
But it doesn't include the guys
on the practice squad. Right. And so that's why I had to look up the Broncos depth chart from last year. And Saubert is how they've got it. So
well, you may need to know it on Sunday.
We may. That's right.
If they need another tight end active.
Mm-hmm.
Can he play special teams?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Okay. We've got much more to get to the rest of the week here. We just got warmed up today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't find out much about the Rams today. I mean, I just didn't. We
talked a lot about
you came here to find
yeah,
out
I really wanted to find out more about the Rams, but what we talked about, I already knew. You know,
Everson, the idea is for you to go do some homework.
No, it ain't. Y'all must not know what my job description is here. You guys forgot.
No. Everson says, look at Everson. Look what Everson has in front of him there.
That's it.
His job is to provide wisdom for the show.
That's
right?
it, man.
And our job is to do the homework.
I try to I just smooth it out for you guys. I just smooth it out.
We'll give you all the Rams facts tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get some.
This is what we're
deep
doing.
Into the Rams.
We speak to the audience of one, which is Everson, and Everson reacts. Right?
At least we know we always got one.
That's right. We got one viewer, one listener.
We love that.
It's
that
Everson.
would be me.
That's right. And then Everson sounds off. All right. We will see you again tomorrow for another edition of Off the Walls Mick Shot.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!